Hey guys, and welcome back to the Diaries. I hope everyone's doing really well. Today is, of course, Remembrance Day. Now, Remembrance Day, I think, is celebrated in many countries, not just the UK. I think Canada's celebrating it. Some parts of America, if not all of America. I don't really see it much on, social media, on TV and stuff, but I'm pretty sure they celebrate too. And also Australia. Now, I shouldn't say celebrate. We commemorate it. We respect it. We honor it, kind of thing. Remembrance Day, of course, is for those who died in the World Wars, namely World War One, but also, of course, the Second World War Two. Now, I am a keen lover of history. Like, since I was a child, see, a fun fact about me that you may or may not know. But since I was a child, I was always into history from, I guess, since we started learning it in year 3 all the way up to GCSE history. I feel like when you love something and then you go and learn about it, you kind of lose that passion. That certainly happened for me with music in GCSE. But yeah, history was always a huge love. I think I got a B in the end in history GCSE, so I ended up dropping it for AS. But I kind of wish I'd continued it because I've always loved it. I've always had a huge passion for it. And namely, the two topics that I've loved growing up was the Tudors, which we did in like primary school. We never looked at in high school, but we did in year 5 and year 6. And I loved the Tudors. Random. I don't know where that came from. I just loved learning about them. So I know all these weird facts about the Tudors, all these fun facts about them. I used to like research it in my spare time and things as well. I was recently on the game show Impossible, for those that checked it out, and one of my questions was about the Tudors, and I gave this long explanation. People were like, oh my gosh, how did you know that? It's honestly, that was luck picking me for that question, but I've always loved them, and I don't know why. But my second one, which is today's focus, is the wars, World War I and World War II. I especially loved learning about the Second World War. I love war movies, like especially like romantic war movies like Pearl Harbor and The Notebook and things like that have a focus on the war. The Lost Valentine, there's so many movies that I could recommend that have to do with the war. I love war movies. I love just learning about things to do with the war. And it's not just something that's a story. It's not like a movie that I love. It's not like me going, oh, I love High School Musical. I do love High School Musical, I know. But it's not like one of those things. It's a real, very real, still very raw event that took place. Millions of people lost their lives, lost their homes, lost their families, lost their friends, lost so much. So it's a really important thing to remember. Now, I honestly just don't understand when people kind of don't commemorate this day, or kind of don't do the 2-minute silence, or just don't buy poppies or things like that. Because it's a tiny thing that you're doing for these people who gave up their lives so that you could be free. You just wouldn't be living in these countries if it weren't for the people that sacrificed their lives during the war, the good guys. Well, there's war's tough. I was gonna say there's no real bad guys in wars. Like, it's the leaders that are bad, and then the people are just like kids who go out and fight. Like, people who are 16, 17, 18 had to just go out and fight. There are no winners in a war. But yeah, so these people died so that we could, have freedom, and all we have to do is, respect that. And buying poppies, buying these things, all the money goes to charities for veterans and for people that are fighting now across the world, troops that are fighting now, but also for those who are retired, who used to be in the wars. And I think that's super cool. And, it's only like they'll let you donate whatever you want. And I just don't understand why you wouldn't. And I also think the 2-minute silence is hugely important. And we had that this morning. We did that at 11 in the morning. And I just remember being in school, being in uni, and I was always like the shy, like the not putting my hand up even if I know the answers. I mean, we didn't really put our hand up at uni, did we? I can't remember. But basically, yeah, I was the one that didn't really talk much. But I remember feeling this was super important. So it was only 1 year this happened, because I was at uni for 3 years, and I can't remember what happened the other 2 years. Maybe the 11th came on a weekend, or maybe it was the day that I had off from uni, I don't know. But 1 year, and I think it was my first year, could have been my second year, and I had a class and it kind of finished at 11, but obviously I wanted to leave before that. I mean, not leave before that, sorry. I wanted to, we'd have the class when it hits 11, so I wanted to obviously have the silence. And I remember going to our teacher, lecturer person at the time, and being like, hey, it was a workshop class. It was for my journalism class. It was a workshop, so it wasn't a big class. There were like 12 of us. And I remember walking in first and being like, hey, it's 11:11 today. Are we going to have the 2-minute silence? And I remember him being like, well, it's up to each person. So, we're not going to make them do it. So if you want, you can leave a bit early and go and have your 2-minute silence. I'm sorry, but that baffled me a little bit. Like, nobody's making anyone do anything, but I just feel like out of a sign of respect, workplaces, unis, schools, whatever, should pause for 2 minutes. It's not that deep. It's 2 minutes to respect these, the people that lost their lives. But yeah, he didn't want to do that, and so I left class earlier just so I could have my 2-minute silence, because it still baffles me to this day as to why you wouldn't. But my point of that is that I think it's really important, and I know people might not understand the importance of it, or they might just think, it happened a long time ago, what's the point? It's just respect, it really is. And if you should have respect. There's no really two ways about it. It happened, and it's a fact that you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So 2 minutes isn't that hard, and buying things isn't that hard to support them. Now, if you already do these things, if you're a good, citizen, and you do these things, maybe next year, instead of spending, I don't know, 10, 20, 50p on a coffee, maybe put in £1 or £2 for one. Maybe buy more things, like other things, so you don't just, buy one thing, you can buy lots of different things. Maybe you can find a veteran place that you can support. Bunch of other things. Just do more. Do more every year, and I think that will just help make the world a better place. And that goes for everything, really, all charities and all things. And I know some people have their little conspiracies about maybe the whole 100% doesn't go to the charities. You know what? So what? You've done your part. That's on you. What they do is on them, so you can walk away with a clear conscience. So that's never really an excuse. But yeah, so I just hope that everyone kind of realizes the importance of this day, the importance of what happened all those years ago, and I hope that it's something that will never ever change, as in we always remember it. We always, they always stop TV shows, they always pause the news to show the 2-minute silence. They always emphasize the importance of it. They always hear soldier stories, all of that stuff. I hope that goes on for forever, really, because those who don't remember history are doomed to repeat it, and none of us wants that. So that's why I hopped on today, because I just wanted to remind you guys of the importance of that, and I really hope it's not too late. I know 11 o'clock's finished, so there's no 2-minute silence or anything. That's fine, but it's not too late to buy stuff, it's not too late to donate, and there's always next year, hopefully. So yeah, just bear that in mind. And and also on this Friday, it is Children in Need in the UK, so it will be on TV. Podsy will be back, and another great chance for us to be charitable and donate, because there's always someone worse off than we are. Now, before I sign off, I actually have a huge favor to ask from you guys, and I don't know how many of you can help. If you feel like you can't help, maybe share this and somebody out there can. And what it is like I said, I've always been a huge fan of learning about historical events, and you know, the world wars are my I don't know the word, they're just very important and I love it. And I've always wanted to, for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to meet someone who fought in the world wars. Now, obviously, I think meeting someone who fought in the First World War is probably not very likely anymore, unfortunately. But I'm sure there's still many veterans left from the Second World War. And I would love, 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 love nothing more than to meet one of them and to hear their story. So if you know someone, maybe your grandparents, maybe your great aunt, your great uncle, maybe your friend's grandparents, whoever, if you know someone that fought in the war, or if you don't know someone who actually fought in the war, maybe someone who was a nurse during that time, maybe someone who just lived through it, whose husband went off to war, whose brother, sister, somebody else who went off to war, but somebody who really remembers that time vividly, but ideally a veteran. If you guys do know someone like that, I would love for you to reach out and let me know, but someone who wants to share their story, because I know a lot of people might not, someone who's willing to share that, and not with the screen, so it doesn't have to be recorded. I just want to make that really clear. I have no intention of, you know, showing it unless they want me to. That's fine. It's not for the blog. It's just for me. Like, I would love to learn. Now, if they don't want to be filmed, maybe I can write it on my blog, and if they don't want that, that's fine too. I would love to hear it. That's it. So if you guys do know anyone like that, please do let me know. And if you don't, maybe if you could just share this, and maybe somebody on your social media or somebody somewhere might know someone, because my grandparents were born and brought up in Sri Lanka, so I don't have anyone who fought in the war. They had their own war, so Sri Lanka wasn't the best place to grow up. They had their own war and stuff, so I've heard a lot of tragic stories and stuff too, but I want someone who actually fought in the world wars. And all my friends are from a similar background of me, or from other countries that weren't really a part of the war, or unfortunately they don't have grandparents who are still alive, so literally I have no one to contact. So if you guys could do that, I would be super grateful. Whoever finds me someone, I'll be like your best friend forever. Seriously, I'd be so grateful. So that is my little favor that I'm asking from you, and thank you in advance, and thank you so much for watching, guys. And yeah, remember what I said, and take care, and you know, respect each other, respect the people who sacrifice their lives, and just respect everyone around you. And I will see you guys very, very soon. By the way, new blog post up now, abbysworld.wordpress.com, and that will be a nice light-hearted read for today. So I will see you next time. Bye!